So here we are.
Here we are.
And
So
we're
people,
live.
Here we are.
here we are. I'll check out here.
Here we are. Here we are.
And we got the infinite.
Yeah,
And we're in. And I can already see that people are tuning into the stream.
yeah. It's almost 8:30. Our second live stream at YouTube. Last time was about a week ago.
Yeah.
Got some
Beginning
nice.
of the week.
Yeah, we got some nice questions there to answer, and we'll do the same. We already had some questions before that we answer. We might get questions from you there, and tell a bit about ourselves and our vision, where we're going. And in the calendar invite itself, it mentions our contact details, the phone number, a link to the campaign page.
Yeah.
What else?
A link to book a meeting directly with us. So a one-on-one meeting to ask specific questions and have a bit more of a conversation with us. I think especially if you're considering doing a larger ticket, and that would be a great idea. And we can definitely explain you a bit more about topics that may not suit an open stream like this.
Yeah.
So definitely feel free to use that option.
Yeah. And just in case if you can't make it, or people like last time, we had a few people jumping in later. We had quite some people coming in, but not everybody could make the full stream. But we will share the video later. This will all be recorded.
Yeah.
And we might host another session as well, maybe next week.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Definitely. I think the previous recording had quite a lot of viewers that watched after the fact, so that's welcome to those people as well, I guess. Cool. Should we do a quick round of introductions again?
Yeah. What time is it? We are 2 minutes over. Shall we wait a bit or start introducing ourselves? Because I think one of the most important things is that people get the opportunity to meet us, to know who we are as the founders of TILER. But let's start. Joris,
Yeah.
can you tell a bit about yourself and what you do in TILER and what you like?
Yeah, so I'm Joris, and my passion is with small, lightweight electric vehicles. My previous occupation was in the development of an electric scooter. Back then it was called e-Turgo, and it was later acquired by Ola Electric. And there are now a few 100,000 of those scooters driving around in India. There I was part of the original engineering team. I was the first employee on the wage list. So I was there for the entire adventure from render to a homologated vehicle. That was a crazy adventure with a lot of fundraising like this, a lot of growth in the team. A great opportunity to learn a lot about product development, a lot about batteries, a lot about charging and electric vehicles. Great adventure. After that, I was looking for new opportunities, and Olivier drew me into TILER. And what excited me about TILER is that it still covered the domain that I'm interested in and really excited about. But it's not just another vehicle within that domain, but a technology that can really touch everyone within the domain, from e-bikes to electric motorcycles and everything in between. We can make a small change to how people interact with those vehicles and hopefully make them more convenient and more accessible to everyone. And that got me really excited. I think we can make an impact on how people use their two-wheelers on a daily basis. It has already changed how I use my electric cargo bike on a daily basis, because I've not charged my battery manually for over 2 years now. So it's already made a small impact to my own life.
Yeah, you've got that tile in your front garden in Haarlem.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shall I take over?
Yeah. Perfect.
Olivier Koops, live in Amsterdam, 48 years old. My background is business, studied at the Erasmus University, worked for 6 years for a private equity venture capital firm, and there I was looking at entrepreneurs and not being an entrepreneur myself. And then at the age of 29, I started my first venture together with a business partner, and it was in the medical devices, where I was the co-founder, and we scaled it to 30 countries. So what we did was focus on innovation, on quality, on registrations, and mainly sales. So we sold it to 30 countries. And what I like is to work with tech people. What I like is adventures. I just love entrepreneurship. I think I see myself as a all-round entrepreneur who likes to create relevant things, and that's what I've been doing for the past 18 years with several companies, all started from scratch, super successful, scaling international, and also less successful, not scaling as I wanted to. And I think I touch all the domains. And in the company, the partnerships is what I like, taking care of the fundraising with the venture capital background, but also motivating people in the team to work together with technical people and get things going. So I joined 5 years ago at TILER, and that was just a couple of months after it was a spin out of the Technical University Delft. And I think that's maybe the bridge to where it all started with TILER.
Yeah.
So we're going to take about 30 to maximum 40 minutes for this stream, but let's target at 30 minutes. And we'll tell about the company, but also ask questions. So please ask your question in the chat. And we have some frequently asked questions that we got in the past 2 weeks that we will answer.
Definitely.
Joris, where did it start, TILER?
Yeah. TILER as a concept, as an idea, has been brewing in the Technical University of Delft for quite a few years, even before it was spun out of the university. So in the electrical engineering department, they have a section that takes care of wireless charging for electric vehicles, mostly for cars, also for cars that are driving, dynamic charging. But they also had a research direction for e-bikes. And that developed over a couple of years. There were some graduate students, some PhDs. They did a lot of research, and they reached a point where they thought this could be a commercial product. They patented the idea, and they basically ejected TILER from the university. They started to look for some entrepreneurs to make it a commercial product. And that's where the commercial journey of TILER started. Back then, the concept still evolved around a double-sided kickstand, so a big center stand. That was prototyped and tested, found that it was not as convenient as it should be. And then it was evolved into the single-sided stand that it is now. So that's when the original user interface as we know it now came to be. That was tested over multiple generations, learning a lot about the technology itself, so the wireless power technology that makes it possible to even charge through the kickstand, but also about the user experience. Do users place the kickstand correctly? Are the bikes charged? We had some experiments in growing scale. We did a very large experiment at a hotel, because at a hotel you have new users every time. It was a completely autonomous hub. So there were electric locks, so there was absolutely no one intervening. So all the users had to learn how to use the product by themselves. And everyone used it perfectly. So all the bikes that made it to the parking destination were parked inside our tiny yellow square.
Yeah, so it's amazing, because TILER is the only one in the world doing this with e-bikes.
Yeah.
And the technology itself, I think it's good to explain that what we do is we're the only ones being able to have such a high power density to charge up a few hundred watts through the tip of a kickstand, and still allowing misalignment at the tile, which means that this little cube that we have is super different from all the inductive other technologies. And one of the FAQs, people think it's inefficient inductive charging, but like the core patent and the knowledge that we have is very much focused that we prove it's super efficient and allowing this misalignment. And intuitively, if you go to that hotel, every time you go there, and I was there with a customer not that long ago, the bikes are parked correctly. So people with the LED light which is on the charging tile, people kind of come there and they automatically understand where to park the bike, and it's properly charging. So it's not only charging, it's also organized parking that we incentivize there.
Yeah.
So that's So where we are now as a company, we have facilitated we charged over 300,000 kilometers being charged with hundreds of charge points in 4 countries, and customers are hotels, municipalities, rental companies, B2B customers, and they're happy. All of the customers replace recurring orders, but there is a challenge with the TILER in the market, the TILER Uno. Mm-hmm. And the challenge in the market is that we need quite some installation effort there, and the price point is relatively high. And that's why we are here today with the crowdfunding, that we introduced a new product, the TILER Compact, and that is a whole different ballgame. So what else can we tell about before we jump into the future and why this is a turning point? Do we want to tell more of what we achieved up to now, where we are standing?
Yeah, I think we have some great customers, and some customers that have their own visions around our product. We have the ESB, the Electricity Board in Ireland, for example, that has a vision for a charging network with our tiles. They already have 4 hubs in place where they're testing, and they want to spread this out throughout Ireland. And I think that kind of vision really shows the potential of the concept of the product, and it's the way we try to charge and interact with the vehicles, but also the public space. In their vision, they don't want to have permanent space claims where you have poles above the ground that are always occupying the charge spot. And
some people they are taking away those docking stations.
Yeah.
For a reason.
Yeah. Like even if whether you use it in the public space or in your home shed, getting rid of cables which are permanently dangling or tripping hazards, or poles in the public domain that are permanently occupying space. That's not how we want to use our space, especially not the space where we use our most intimate vehicles, like our bikes, or lightweight bikes. So I think that's a vision that some of our customers are really grasping, and that really motivates us to take this concept to the next level.
Yeah, in a market, I don't know for who's watching how well you know the market, but we're talking about the market for light electric vehicles. That's what TILER focuses on. In this year, in the introduction of the new product next year, we'll focus on e-bikes and cargo bikes. But the cube that we have is a bike accessory that can be mounted at any light electric vehicle. And to give you an idea, in the Netherlands, we have 5.5 million e-bikes against about 500,000 pure electric cars. So that is it's a huge market. And the market in general, McKinsey is like the key consultant in this area. They claim for the next year's 10% growth, annual growth there. And also in Germany, over 50% of all the bikes are e-bikes. So it's not yeah, it's a growth market. It's a challenging market in the past couple of years after Corona. A few companies had too much stock. That's why there are some bad news. But in general, the e-bike market is growing rapidly, and especially the more expensive e-bikes and the cargo bikes, also for commuting, people who use it to go to work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anything else about the market, you think?
Yeah, I think that covers it. People are excited about e-bikes, and I think from our Dutch roots and Dutch perspective, we're very happy to see that the e-bike opens up biking to the rest of the world, where we had been biking in our really flat country for decades already, without having to struggle up a hill. Now people abroad who do encounter hills can also start enjoying the e-bike, and I think that's really fueling the adoption worldwide. And I think that lifestyle and the cityscape that comes with it is really going to add a lot of value
Yeah, I mean,
across the world.
even if the people from Paris, the ladies in Paris jump on a bike, then I think anybody in the world is willing to jump on a bike. So yeah, I think it's a huge potential there. Let's make a step towards TILER Compact.
Yes.
Why is this a turning point?
So
For the company ourselves, so we talked about the market, but what is the game changer of the introduction that we launched 2 weeks ago on Eurobike, the largest bike fair in the world?
Yeah. So as we mentioned, the TILER Uno worked, and for some customers it worked really well, and the price point was really good. But it was definitely not the product that suited the entire market. So it was too expensive for private owners, for sure. It had some installation requirements because it was a thick product, so you had to dig it into the ground or lift up the bike on the platform. Those were both restricting the addressable market. And with TILER Compact, we aim to fix both of those issues. So it's going to be an order of magnitude more affordable. It's going to be extremely straightforward to install. So the TILER Compact is completely flat. You don't require any digging. You just lay it on top of the ground in your shed, in your front yard. You can screw it down if you want to, but that's optional. And you simply plug the power cord into the wall, and that's all the installation that is required.
Yeah, and if you got 2 bikes or maybe 20 bikes, you can make it a strip. So it's a modular concept. That those ultra flat charging pads, you can click them.
Yeah, you can snap them together like Legos.
And then you have a hub up to 20 with just one single plug to get into the grid.
Yeah.
And we are even working on off-grid, but we'll tell more about that later, to have that off-grid available as well. Yeah, the turning point is, so we've got happy customers in the market with the current product in market, but as said, installation is too complicated and the price point too high. And right now with the TILER Compact, we are signing several partnership agreements in these weeks with bike OEMs.
Yeah.
On Eurobikes, we had over 30 bike dealers showing their interest. And people from the industry, they just confirm it's a no-brainer. There are no really disadvantages. The price point is super attractive. There's enough margin in the chain from OEM, dealers, wholesalers, to consumers.
Yeah.
In the entire supply chain, there's enough margin. And we aim to introduce the first batch to start with 10,000 units after introduction and scale that in Western Europe. Yeah.
And based on the response that we got on Eurobike, it feels more and more achievable, than we ever thought with the previous product. So everyone was incredibly excited. We had a lot of bike dealers leaving their contact details who really wanted to have a demo set for their bike store. There was one bike dealer who wanted to make an entire almost experience center in front of his bike store. So there was great feedback, which is really empowering. and we envision that it's a great product for bike stores to sell as a general accessory. But in parallel, we also get very good feedback from the bike OEMs that want to support this product. So that want to add it into their warranty conditions, that want to prepare the wiring loom for very quick and easy installation, that want to share the 3D files for their center stand, for example, on a cargo bike, so we can make great adapter systems to fit our cube. So we really feel the momentum for the product in the market, and the snowball is growing slowly.
Yeah. And so we are not going to do, if we talk about the sales strategy, so we call it a consumer product, but we are not going to sell it direct to consumers. So we'll sell it or through the OEM, which means you buy a bike which already has TILER charging kickstand or the TILER Cube mounted to the kickstand, or you go to the bike shop and have it aftermarket, and they will install it for you. So there's an adapter cable which mounts the charging unit on the bike to the wiring loom. And yeah, that's the way we approach the market. And of course, our current customers, the fleets, we will keep serving there, but we really aim to focus, and that focus is on the mass market for the consumers.
Yeah. And even our fleet customers, we would love a local dealer to be able to support them, because we believe they could provide better customer service, quicker turnaround times, better technical assistance for them.
Joris, maybe, so if there's a question from you there, and please put in the chat if you got a question, let us know. Yeah. And we've got also some other FAQs prepared. It's 10 to 9, so we've got a bit more than 10 minutes left. Shall we jump in some FAQs?
Yeah, let's do it.
How fast does it charge?
Yeah, as fast or even a little bit faster than the original charger that you get with most bikes. So most bikes you will charge in 3 to 4 hours. That's the exact same for the TILER charging system. So you don't lose any charging time or convenience with the system. There is potential to charge a little bit faster and make a fast charging solution. But with the first market introduction, we decided that this is a good balance between a price point and also leave some room to expand the product series in the future as well.
Yeah, and the whole beauty, people talk about fast charging, bigger batteries, but why? Because people forget to charge. So the range anxiety, as they call it, they name it, that is because people don't charge it. Some people, of course, they bike super long distances, but those are the exceptions. And with TILER, it's parking is always charging. That's the whole concept, is never worry about charging again, which means that you don't need to do fast charging because there are enough moments in a day or a night where your bike is parked and is charging. So it's not only maybe charging a bit slower, which is much better for your battery, but eventually people should not buy the crazy big batteries. It's expensive. It's not sustainable at all. And that's about charging and about the efficiency.
Yeah. That's a major misconception about wireless charging, in part also caused by the wireless phone chargers that we know. So our charging system is as or even a little bit more efficient than the charger you would get with your bike again. And that is because we use a very well-tuned wireless power transfer, and we use high-end components where your normal original charger would be really cost down, and they don't really care about the efficiency. And that makes us on par or even a little bit better. So it's even a way to save a little bit of electricity. But of course, the big power saving is taking the bike instead of the car for your short trips. because bikes overall use almost 100 times less energy and less battery capacity than an electric car would.
Yeah, I have to think that we did not talk about the vision itself. The coffee machine.
Coffee machine was still going, talking about energy consumption.
The whole why we do this is because we want to get more people on the bike, and not just for fun and leisure, but also for commuting and making a crazy good alternative for the guy for the car. So make it easy having to get the bike. Don't worry about charging. Is a serious competitor for the car.
Yeah.
So how universal is this solution? Because we don't sell bike. We don't make this for a specific bike brand. Why is TILER universal?
Yeah. The great thing is that we only have to think about the powertrain. So there are maybe hundreds of bike brands, but they only use a handful of different powertrain suppliers. Think about Bosch, Yamaha, Shimano. And those are the systems that we need to be compatible with. And the top maybe 10 powertrain suppliers, they cover almost 90% of the entire market. So it's only those systems that we need to focus our attention on. And currently with 16 adapter cables and charging protocols, we can charge over 85% of all the bikes on the market currently. So that's very manageable. Those charging protocols are also programmed into every kickstand. So it will recognize the bike that it's attached to and then adapt its charging protocol accordingly. So we don't have to keep 16 different products in stock. We have just a single product on stock that will adapt itself automatically to the bike that's being used on. There's a new thing coming up called CHAdeMO, which is going to be standardization for the charging protocols and plugs. So by the time that gets around, we automatically also cover all the rest of the bikes in the market that adopt this standard.
It looks like that even Bosch is going to open up for third-party chargers to get in the standardization and to share that protocol.
Yeah.
So that's super good news because that invites innovation. Big step.
Yeah.
What else? It's almost
time.
Almost time. What topic did we not cover yet? Maybe some practical stuff about the crowdfunding itself. What happens if you commit with a larger ticket now, but TILER would not reach the minimum target amount for the fundraising?
Yeah.
Well, it's called a minimum amount. That means if we as the founders want to play this game like the best we can, and therefore we need a certain amount to introduce this product and have it a good product. So then you get your money back.
Yeah, we want to make sure that we raise enough to keep our promise. And if we don't raise enough that we can keep the promise that we make to you right now, then we're not going to accept the money.
Especially from the crowd, because in the crowd there are a lot of people we know who trust us, who support us with small tickets, many small tickets, but also larger tickets. And that's not the crowd that we want to make sure that we have at least a runway of 18 months to roll out the plans. And that can be the crowd or institutional investors. But we love to involve the crowd because you will all be ambassadors for the company. It's a great way of marketing.
Yeah.
What else? I think that's mainly it, huh? I think half an hour is over.
Yeah, we can talk for hours, but I think 30 minutes we covered the most important topics or questions that we've been getting. Do keep sending in your questions to all the channels. So hello@TILER-Charge. Use the phone number in the description. Use the link to book a direct meeting with us. And we would love to get to keep the conversation going.
Yeah, and we really look forward with this new product to scale it across Europe, to make this the standard and to to facilitate this whole mobility transition, create greener cities, and we invite you and make this a crazy success.
See you on the other side.
Thank you.